Hey folks, Brian Tate here. Welcome back to my channel. If you saw the headline for this video, that's definitely what we're going to be doing. Today we're going to be confronting my boy Victor Chambers. I'm happy to hear that he is making the pivot to go direct. So we're going to talk about going direct, what that means, how you can transition, and some tips that I have for you as being a full-time notary signing agent that mainly works with direct clients. So sit back, stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the content.
And prioritize actually going after direct business. At the top of this year, I said, after I had done 50 signings, I wanted to go direct. Well, I didn't do that, right? So that's my confession, and I haven't put any time into it. I haven't prioritized. Now, here today, second week of May, I'm nearly 250 signings into doing this business, and I haven't really met my potential or reached my potential in terms of being able to get direct business. I think 200 signings is 250 signings is more than enough to show and prove that you're a quality notary loan signing agent to pretty much any title company. I would say by this point, I've seen a lot. I'm not saying I've seen it all, not nearly seen it all. I haven't been doing this business for a year yet. So I don't want to claim that I'm some expert that I'm not. But I've seen quite a bit, and you will see quite a bit when you get to 250 signings.
So I just want to stop right there. First of all, I just want to give my brother a hand clap and applaud him for taking the action, for one, wanting to put himself out there and being truly transparent and vulnerable, admitting that he set a goal and that he hadn't started to take the action to necessarily accomplish it. One that takes, as a man, that takes a lot of fortitude to, one, admit that to yourself, and then two, to admit that publicly first. So I definitely want to give my brother his flowers and just commend him for even putting that out there. But one of the key things that I hope that most people don't miss is the words that he used. One of the main words that he used is intentional. In this business, if you want to go direct, if you want to establish relationships, whether that's with title, escrow, loan officers, realtors, no matter who it is, whatever mortgage professional you're trying to establish, the first thing you have to do is being intentional. Every single escrow officer or title officer, company that I work with at this moment, I have a notebook of in essence of leads, and every single person that I put down and I could put a star next to, they are one of my clients to this day right now. And that didn't come or happen by accident. It happened with intention, setting a goal, saying, this is someone that I established and I know that I want to have a business relationship, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to establish a relationship with that person. And that's the type of commitment that it takes to, fully go direct. You may hear a no in the beginning. You may hear, oh no, we use in-house, or there's a lot of things that you may hear when you go out and try to pitch yourself or you put yourself out there to establish business. But if you have the intention and you have it set in your mind that, no, I am going to nurture this relationship. No, I am going to be, I am going to prove myself. I am going to work myself in. Then the sky is truly the limit, because one of the things about business is that you don't get what you're worth in business. You get what you negotiate. And also the amount of money that you make in any business is determined based on the amount of value that you bring to the marketplace. So in essence, when you're working for a signing service, you're solving the signing service's problem. The signing service, they need a notary, so they contracted you, so you get a fee from the signing service. But if you take a step back, the signing service is solving escrow and titles problem. So if you personally can solve that problem, there is no middleman or no person to split that fee with. You get what I'm saying? So like, if you put yourself out there and nurture those relationships directly, you can get the whole pie to yourself, as opposed to, just in essence getting a handout. Most people are so trained and so conditioned to, it's based from being an employee that, hey, there's work. My boss gives me work and they tell me what to do, and I just basically act like a robot and just do it. But when you're building a business, if you run your business that way, again, you're not gonna be getting basically what you truly worth. You're gonna be doing the same amount of work as somebody else that's you know doing it, but you're not gonna be getting the same amount of compensation. And eventually, I just know from personal experience, I did signing services for 6 months. Eventually, you're gonna get frustrated, and that frustration is either going to be taken out and you're not putting forth effort, you getting burnt out, or a lot of different things that can happen when you're frustrated. So if you're trying to make that transition, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. You don't all of a sudden have to hang up and just quit every signing service that you do, but you do have to be intentional about, hey, let me make, it's time to go direct. Let me make time to nurture those relationships. Let me make some time to go to title companies that I want to work with. You definitely have to be intentional with that. So you might have to scale back a little bit with the work that you're currently doing with signing services to go direct. That's what I did. I had to stop accepting as many orders as what I was accepting from the signing services so I can have the time to go out and market myself and put myself out there.
And do all this craziness that people are talking about. But it's time to graduate, basically. And for me, the next step is actually, going after direct business.
It's time to graduate. I think those were powerful words. The next evolution from signing services is definitely direct. So if you are out there and you're looking, how do I make that transition? So if I was talking to Victor on the phone, or if I was talking to you, and you asked me, like, I'm not that saying that he's asking me. I'm just saying, like, if somebody was that I knew personally that I had love for was asking me, what I do if I was starting over, the first thing that I tell to everybody that I know that's personally in this business is go direct before you think that you're ready. Just because, yeah, like, you are leaving money on the table by not going direct. So simply just start those relationships now. Obviously, because those relationships aren't going to spark off overnight. There's going to be a lay period before you actually start working for those people or with those people that you want to work with. Just start trying to build those relationships now, because it can happen. Somebody can use you right off the bat, but 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work that way for most people. So just start those relationships now. Typically, I would suggest starting further away from your house than don't start with the title company or escrow company that's right down the street, just because if you do make mistakes, you want to start kind of give yourself a buffer, because you are going to make a mistake. And so if you give yourself a little bit of a buffer, you start with the companies that are farther out anyway, so they probably wouldn't use you as frequently anyway. So if you do make a mistake, or if you do burn a bridge, you can start working your way back closer and closer to your home and closer to your ideal client. So that's first. Second thing is definitely pick a day that you're going to market and stay consistent with that. That's going to give you, you're basically automatically going to start filling your schedule with that time. So, on this day at this time, I'm going to, start nurturing those relationships. I'm going to, we'll take, a token of appreciation. And maybe I might drop off some donuts. Maybe I might just go in and just check up on the escrow officer, find out how her weekend was, or his weekend was, just to, do whatever you can to establish relationships. The FaceTime is one of the most important components to any business, is getting in front of your ideal client as many times as you can. Just like any relationship, if you're dating someone, the more you see them, the more often you spend time with them, obviously the deeper relationship. And you want to basically form a real relationship that's going to last, not just a transactional relationship. So, get to know them as much as possible, even if they're not giving you your signing, even if you're not going to pick up docs, even if you're not going to drop off docs, you still want to drop by, you still want to show your face, you still want to catch up. And then as time goes, you'll start to build your relationship. And then once you get an office to use you, do as much as you can to serve that one client, but also making, being intentional about establishing the other relationships with the other people in the office as well. When you go in to check on your escrow officer, make sure you check on everybody. When you go in to check on your escrow officer, maybe you come with donuts, make sure every escrow officer, gets a donut. Don't go in there with the intention like, oh, I'm trying to pitch this person right away. You're building that relationship with your main, and then you're also trying to slide in and get in when you fit in. And eventually, when one of those other escrow officers needs you, you want to be top of mind, and you do those things by, dropping docs off on time, looking sharp, being conversational, and just being a genuine person. So those are some quick tips that I have for you guys if you want to start the process of going direct. I believe in person is going to give you the best, bang for your buck, or your best use of your time. Um, just because emails, phone calls, while those do or can work, there's nothing like belly to belly, face to face. It's the highest, um, way to convert a prospect in any kind of business is usually in face. So definitely get out of your comfort zone. I know it may be scary, I know it may be hard, but definitely get out there. Congratulations to Victor. And if you're somebody else that's sitting on the fence, wondering if you should go direct, definitely do it, man. Um, Definitely, definitely, definitely. I've talked in a bunch of videos on how it's changed my life, but um, it's not just me. It's many people that have made that transition. Like my friend Alejandro, he just hit his 1 year mark and he made $200,000 in the last year. Obviously, people are gonna say, "Oh, it's because of the pandemic." So what? Um, $200,000 in a year is just it's crazy. It's definitely crazy, and it's possible. Definitely wouldn't have been possible with just doing signing services. So I'm not saying to try to hype you up or anything like that. I'm just stating real, legitimate facts. If you aren't a notary, or if you are a notary and you haven't gone direct and you need a little bit of help, maybe you haven't joined the loan signing system, I definitely urge you to do so, just because it gives you the community support that you're going to need to when you hear a no. It's also going to give you the community support to basically help you with what to say. He's going to give you a lot of ideas on what you can do to position yourself to be that go-to notary. And yeah, so that's what I use. So definitely recommend it. Get out there. Once again, shout out to my boy. Congratulations. And I'll talk to you guys soon.